Hey, you little troopers. It's me, Old Pa. I just blew a hose on Kimmy and it's like 4 o'clock, so by the time I get up and make a hose, I'm just going to do it in the morning. But anyway, I wanted to make a video, especially for my buddy Brian, my brother from another mother, Brian Gintner out there, GNS Logging. How you doing, Brian? And Jesse and the family. I wanted to go over, he was asking me about what kind of poles we were doing on this job, but I just want to go over some species here with you. This right here is black cherry, okay, and it's pretty valuable. That's one of the more valuable species. That's over there, I don't know if you can see it, that's a gray elm, just a piece of junk. Elm ain't worth much. These are eastern hemlock. I think they're similar to what you guys have on the west coast. Here's a nicer example of that cherry. That's a pretty nice one. Soft maple over there. I'll get you a closer look at a soft maple. I'm just gonna hike out because I'm not gonna. There's no sense in tracking Kimmy out. This is what's called around here a scarlet or a shingle oak. It's a real piece of junk. They're real pinny and nice pole wood, but I mean it's a piece of junk. They'll never make good grade timber. Here's a soft maple, not a very good example. These woods were high graded, so there isn't very much real nice stuff. There's a few decent trees in it, but that's soft maple. Okay, I believe red maple is the proper name for it. We call it soft maple. Up where I used to live around, they'd call it swamp maple, but it's the same thing. There's another maple pole. Black cherry, soft maple. See, a lot of this stuff is defective. That's why we're cutting it. See this? Like, that's just a piece of junk. It's a piece of pole wood, you know? But there's quite a bit of maple on this piece. Like I say, they high graded the hell out of it, so they cut most all the nice oaks and stuff out of it. There's one of them shingle oaks. You don't see that too often around here, just in pockets and areas, but it makes good timber stock and, you know, pallet stock and stuff like that. Another one of them, black cherry, soft maple. So, like I said, this place has been high graded to hell. So the kid figures he's just going to final cut it and improve his deer habitat by 1,000,000 times. And let you get oak, you get sunlight in here, and the oak will come back. I'll show you some oak that needs to be released, you know. And by release, we just mean you let the sun go on it, get to it, and it'll go crazy, you know. Well, I hear a hubba cubba. You hear that hubba cubba? I think that's the med flight guys. They got time to just ride around here. There it is. That's medevac flight. So here's some nice stuff over here. This is this almost looks like West Coast stuff, Alex, if you're watching. This is hemlock. This is eastern hemlock. I don't really know what the difference is. I'm sure there's some. The leaves on, I'll get you. This stuff's tall. I mean, I think you'd be proud to hook that up on your yarder, buddy. It's pretty steep in here, but I'll get it. I'll get it with little Kimmy. If nothing else, I'll just slide down the hill and cut them when I go by. Get woad long enough to cut them and either flop them up the hill or down the hill. But that's the plan. Yeah, this is western hemlock, eastern hemlock. I'm sorry. God, I'm so brain dead. But that CSI Delimber works awesome on this stuff. It's probably what I would like you to do if you come out, Alex. Is I'll set that shovel up with that CSI, and I mean, Chew can delim too, but that way you could just strip poles and, you know, strip these stems and have them ready to go into the buck saw. Fast. All right, this is a hickory. All right, I'm sure, I don't know if you guys have hickories out there or not. That's yeah, not a very good specimen. It's pretty lumpy on the bottom, but if the butts are grade, not too lumpy, they'll bring some money. But you usually get like a 10 or a 12 footer, and then it turns to lumpy stuff. But it makes beautiful cabinet stuff. They make handles, axe handles, shovel handles, pickaxe, whatever. Tool handles, you know. So anyway, pretty steep pinch right here. Start huffing and puffing in a minute. Take a little break. Black cherry, maple. These are all soft maple. There's a few hard maple. Hard maple. Excuse me, I swallowed a bug. Hard maple is actually sugar maple. What they call sugar bush. And you get a real high concentrate of sugar out of the sap. Excuse me, which makes good syrup. You know, the ratio is less gallons of sap per gallon of sugar. I think when me and my granddad did that, we didn't have very many sugar maples. We had the red or the swamp maple, soft maple, yeah. All right. And I'm thinking our sugar ratio was like 40 gallons of sap to cook 1 gallon of syrup. That's a lot of sap. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's guys who know a lot more about that than I do, but the sugar bush maple, I don't think it's, I think the concentration is much higher of sugar, so I think it takes less sap. I'm not sure how much, but yeah, that's a lot of work. That's why, guys, if you go get authentic maple syrup, you're going to pay for it, because that's a lot of work. So anyway, oh, here's a red oak up here. Finally, I found one they didn't wipe out. It's a pretty nice red oak. Small. That's red oak, Rhino. That's pretty much true northern red oak. There's a whole bunch of varieties. I guess they can do some crossbreeding. Oaks can. So I've heard as much as there's like 57 different actual kinds of oaks. So we basically break them down into like 4 or 5 that we know are here, and that's it's like deer beds right there. Red oak, white oak, black oak. New England, they used to call that yellow bark, because the cambium ring on black oak is very, usually like a bright yellow. That's the growth layer right below the bark. So, and then scarlet, shingle oak, and there's a couple other half-breed things, but mostly what we have is hey, bear crap. Look at that. I found bear scat. Oh yeah, look at that. That big old bear turd. That's good bear territory in here. So it is. Alright, we're coming up on a landing. Alright guys, ta-ta, have a lovely evening.